This HOA cop trespassed on my property and struck my dog with a crossbar. Ranger yelped so loud the whole ridge went silent. And that's the moment something inside me snapped. The kind of snap a man doesn't come back from. But before I put him on the ground before the blood, the gunshot, and the hospital sirens, let me tell you how this all started. Before we dive in, comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story travels. My ranch sits deep in the Tennessee foothills. 50 acres of quiet pines, slow sunsets, and honest work. My dog, Ranger, goes everywhere with me. He's a big shepherd mix, loyal as gravity, trained, smart, and gentle, unless someone tries something stupid. Stupid arrived wearing a fake badge. His name was Trevor Hanks, though at the time he introduced himself as Officer Hanks, HOA Compliance and Rural Enforcement Division. There's no such division. There's no such authority. But the HOA 2 miles down the road loved flexing imaginary power, and Trevor was their newest hired clown. It started small. A letter on my gate reading unapproved livestock structure. Then a warning about perimeter visibility. Then a claim that my land, fell under their extended jurisdiction zone. I ignored all of it. They weren't the government. They weren't the county. They weren't law enforcement. They were bored suburban bullies with a clipboard complex. But Trevor didn't like being ignored. He came once while I was miking the stables, snuck up behind the fence, and started taking pictures like some kind of wildlife photographer with a superiority complex. "You can't build here without HOA approval," he barked. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because I needed a second to register the stupidity. "Son," I told him, "you are one fence line away from stepping into a world of problems." He didn't step closer that day, but he came back 3 more times. Each time a little louder, a little bolder, a little more convinced he had power he absolutely did not have. I should have known the HOA president, Marilyn Brooks, was behind it. She'd been complaining for years that my property downgraded the district's visual profile. She hated that my ranch existed near her perfect little subdivision. The woman once sent me an email suggesting I rehome Ranger because large dogs create an aggressive aesthetic. She was that kind of person. Still, nothing prepared me for the morning it finally broke. The sun had barely crested the ridge, mist drifting low through the pines. I just fed the horses and opened the coop. Ranger was doing his usual patrol, trotting the fence line, sniffing, tail relaxed. Then he barked once, sharp, warning, not playful. I turned just in time to see Trevor step out from behind my tool shed. He wasn't supposed to be on my property. He wasn't invited, and he damn sure didn't knock. He held a crossbar in his hand, one of those cheap metal pry tools HOA goons carry when they pretend to be tactical. And before I could shout, before Ranger could react, Trevor swung hard. The metal cracked across Ranger's side. Ranger yelped, a sound I'd only heard once before when he tore a tendon as a pup and collapsed into the dirt. Everything in me froze. Then everything in me ignited. My voice dropped low. "You just hit my dog." Trevor smirked like he'd done something brave. "You refuse to comply," he said, shrugging. "HOA protocol allows." He didn't finish that sentence because that was the moment I stepped toward him. Slow, controlled. A storm he couldn't see coming. Ranger lay in the dirt, shaking, whimpering. Dust stuck to his fur where the metal crossbar had struck him. I ran a hand down his side. He flinched hard and cried out. That sound that broke something clean inside my chest. Trevor Hanks stood there holding the crossbar like he'd just done his duty. He wasn't breathing hard, wasn't scared. He actually smirked like he'd proved a point. "You refuse to comply," he said, shrugging. "HOA protocol allows." "Stop talking," I said quietly. He blinked, confused by how calm I sounded. I stepped toward him once. Just once. He panicked immediately, raising the crossbar like he might swing again. "You're escalating a dangerous situation," he barked. "You need to stand down." I stared at him. "You hit my dog," I said. "On my land with a weapon." Ranger let out another weak cry behind me. And Trevor had the absolute nerve to roll his eyes. "It's not my fault your animal is aggressive. He was walking," I said. "That's all he was doing." "Well," Trevor said, shifting his stance, "maybe now he'll learn." That was the final straw. I didn't yell. I didn't rush. I didn't warn him. I simply walked to the porch, slow, deliberate, calm, and opened the wooden cabinet by the door. Trevor didn't understand at first, then he did. His face drained when he saw me lift the short-barrel shotgun. "Whoa! Hey," he stammered, dropping the tough act instantly. "You can't. That's a weapon." "You hit my dog," I repeated. "You trespassed. You attacked me. And now you think I'm going to just let you walk away?" He held up one hand shakily. "Put it down," he said. "We can talk." "I didn't mean you meant it," I said. "Every part of it." I raised the shotgun to my shoulder. Trevor panicked. Real panic. He stumbled backward, lost his balance a little, then tried to recover with a burst of stupidity. He rushed me. Full sprint. Crossbar raised, and that was it. I squeezed the trigger. Boom! The blast shook the morning air. Birds exploded from the trees. Dust blew off the porch. Trevor was lifted off his feet, slammed back into the dirt, sliding across the ground before he finally stopped. His hands clawed at his chest. Blood blooming through his shirt in a dark, heavy flower. He gasped, sharp, wet breaths, fighting for air that wasn't coming easy. "You shot me," he choked. "You attacked my dog?" I said. Ranger whimpered again, dragging himself closer to me with his good side. I knelt and pulled him gently into my lap, keeping the shotgun aimed at the ground now, but still ready. Trevor tried to sit up. He couldn't. "You'll go to prison." He coughed. "For self-defense?" I said. "For stopping a man who trespassed, assaulted my dog, and charged me with a weapon." His eyes flickered with realization. The moment he finally understood he wasn't the authority here, he was just a criminal bleeding in the dust. I pulled out my phone, dialed 911. "This is Carter Hayes," I said steadily. "I need deputies and an ambulance. A man trespassed on my ranch, attacked my dog, then attacked me with a metal crossbar. I discharged my shotgun in self-defense. The suspect is down." "Yes, sir," the dispatcher said. "Help is on the way." I sat there in the dirt with Ranger leaning into my leg while Trevor fought to breathe, and all I felt was cold, steady clarity. He brought this on himself. If you're enjoying this HOA story so far, like and subscribe because the story is only going to get better. The deputies arrived fast, faster than anyone out here usually does. 2 cruisers rolled up the gravel drive, lights flashing against the barn, tires spitting dust into the morning air. Trevor lay where he fell on his back, chest soaked in red, breath short and broken. He wasn't talking anymore, not begging, not threatening, just fading. Deputy Morales walked straight to him, kneeled, and put 2 fingers to his neck. "Pulse is light," he said, "but he's still with us." The EMTs weren't far behind. They lifted Trevor onto a stretcher, packed the wound, and rushed him toward the ambulance. His eyes fluttered once, unfocused, scared, then dropped to nothing. Ranger pressed against my leg, shaking. I held him close, trying to keep him still for the deputies to examine. Sheriff Mack arrived last. He stepped out of his cruiser with the slow, tired walk of a man who has seen every kind of stupid there is. "You okay?" he asked me. "I'm fine," I said. "Ranger's hurt, but he's alive." Mac nodded, then looked toward the ambulance as the door slammed shut. What did he hit him with? I pointed at the crossbar lying in the dirt. Mac's jaw tightened. And what did he do before that? Charged me with it, I said. Full sprint. Mac turned to his deputy. Mark that as the weapon. Then he faced me again. Carter, I've told every HOA clown in this county the same thing. Stay off the rancher land. They didn't listen. He paused, tapping his notebook with the back of his pen. You fired in self-defense. The footage is clear. Your dog being injured is clear. Everything lines up. I nodded. I already knew, but hearing it out loud mattered. The sheriff walked Ranger to the vet truck himself. We'll get him patched up, he said. Good boy didn't deserve any of this. Ranger wagged his tail once. Weak, but there. 5 days passed. 5 silent, heavy days. Then the sheriff called. His voice carried that tone men reserve for news that changes things. Carter. Trevor didn't make it. Never woke from the coma. I exhaled. Not relief. Not grief, something else. A release of tension I'd been carrying since the moment he hit Ranger. What about the HOA president? I asked. Oh, Marilyn Brooks, Max said, almost laughing. She's done. Turns out Trevor kept a little journal, notes, orders, recordings of meetings. And in that mess of stupidity, he documented everything out. Marilyn instructing him to apply pressure. Marilyn authorizing illegal property checks. Marilyn approving the use of physical intimidation. Marilyn knowing he had no legal authority. She didn't just send him, she weaponized him. Within 48 hours, she was arrested on conspiracy to commit assault, encouraging trespass, misuse of HOA funds, coercion and harassment, attempted property seizure. Marilyn got 7 years in state prison, plus $30,000 in fines for damages and Ranger bill. The whole HOA board resigned before sundown. Some ran, some cried, some blamed everyone but themselves. But the ranch stayed mine. Ranger recovered. And Trevor, well, Trevor made his choices. And that's how a fake HOA cop learned the hard way. You don't lay hands on my dog, and you don't trespass on a ranch in Tennessee. What do you think, folks? Was that justice taking a life in self-defense? And what would you have done if a fake HOA cop attacked your dog? I'd love to know. The end.